Hold on. Right, Curly, take it away. After technical difficulties, we are back, but unfortunately we can't see the results.
Give you
so Curly is going to
off-screen rundown of the final results. So Calzo taking the win, then Konzo actually picking up second on penalties. Then we had Hindle in P3, Valdemar in 4th, Slimbodude in 5th, Will1 Win1 in 6th. Come to Get You finishes in 7th. Big error on the tire strategy there. Gonk in 8th, and then we had Danny Railton in 9th, and Farthba picking up the final point in 10th. Our final finisher was Ant69, who came home in 11th place, quite a long way down, but he did make it to the finish. So our final podium sitters will be Calzo, Konzo and Hindle, and I'll make sure to send them an invite for the podium interviews.
I think Ant69 actually left the session, remember, with this lag, so Ant69 actually does not count as a finisher, unfortunately, so that does leave only 10 finishers, so all of the finishers do get points. Welcome back, viewers, after some technical difficulties, a game crash by the fantastic game of F1 2017. We are back live running for the interviews of the Canadian Grand Prix, with Calzo taking a fantastic victory on the track, as well as he would have taken it with penalties anyway, but a great result by Calzo nonetheless, and Ferrari picking up another provisional 1-2. Let's hope they can actually keep it this time, while not being reported for ETLs or footage, and this time Calzo being the better driver, and Konzo probably making that mistake of going that lap too long. Should have probably pitted when Hindle did, to maintain a chance of the victory, because I do think that could have been a very good battle with the three of them, and unfortunately it became the two of them, especially with Gonzo picking up that stop and go penalty. So hard to break when you're on slick tyres in the rain. So it is an understandable mistake, but it's unlucky. Still got P2 out of it, so I doubt he'll be too disappointed with that. But have you invited the podium sitters?
Yeah, so the invites have been sent out for those guys, and hopefully they get into the podium pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean, what a phenomenal move from Calzo there at the very end of the race. You know, he might not have known that Hindle had some penalties, had to go for it, and made it stick. So yeah, props to him for that. Do have Calzo in the lobby now. Calzo, you're getting a little bit of feedback off of your mic, so you may just want to mute yourself.
He was muted.
All right,
okay,
then
that might be off of yours then, Dom. So yeah, the podium drivers are just joining in. Apologies for the problem with the stream. Just a game crash for those who are rejoining us for the podium interviews here, and I think we might be able to stick this back onto the main video as we do just wait for Hindle to join us, as he's just joined us now. So yeah, we will get the podium interviews. Oh no, Calzo has left.
Well, that's great stuff. My Calzo, he joined the party yet again. I'm echoing on my mic as well, so I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's not me, it's not you, Curly. So I don't know what it is. Probably might be one of the. Yeah, it is Calzo's then. So thank you for that, Calzo. Is everyone in now? I think they are actually. Yeah. Curly, do you want to take it away for Calzo with his great victory?
Alright, so yeah, Calzo, congratulations on finishing in P1. Very, very tense race, but we'll get to the end of that in a little bit. I want to head back to qualifying. You load into that qualifying session, you see rain. What are your thoughts straight away?
Well, to be honest, I hope that it rained throughout the whole of qualifying, because I was not confident I was going to win this race at all tonight. I didn't really have the pace in the dry, and I didn't know what pace was like in the wet either. I just went straight to the pedal, floored it pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you know, qualifying has been definitely a big strength for you so far this season, but yeah, I mean, just losing out to Hindle 14 thousandths of a second, was that frustrating?
Yeah, looking at it afterwards, it was frustrating. I don't remember any massive mistakes in my lap, but yeah, I looked at the second times afterwards. It just looked like he had a faster car and straight, which seemed that way in the race as well.
Yeah, I'm sure that we can get onto that in a moment. We will go to the start of the race. Able to maintain P2, difficult turn 1, a lot of battling going on, but able to maintain P2, and then you mostly just sat behind Hindle for you know, really pretty much the whole race. I mean, you know, when you're sitting there, you're roughly, you know, a second or two behind. What are you focusing on in that situation?
Before the start of the race, I knew it was going to rain at the end, so I was thinking about undercutting and going on the softs beforehand. So I knew I had done 2 laps of ultra softs in qualifying, so I wasn't too bothered that I had a 2-second gap. And I maybe was thinking of staying out in the ultra soft because it wasn't too bad, because I was keeping within that second. That's before I pitted, and I made my mistake on the lap, and I just thought, no, I'm pitting.
Yeah, I mean, the choice to go to the soft compound tyres, knowing that it would rain later in the race and you probably wouldn't have to run to the end on them. I mean, did you consider going super softs?
I knew it was to be the faster strategy out of the two, but I think if I had more chance of getting an undercut and taking the lead rather than probably pitting at the same time in the same strategy, because it would have just been stalemate.
Okay, I'll hand over to Dom and let him have a couple questions at you and let him sort of grill you about the very end of that race.
Cal, I just want to ask you about the end. I mean, a great battle with Hindle, one of your friends. Did you actually know he had a penalty, or were you determined to win it on track, or did you know he had a penalty but you just went for it anyway?
I didn't. I wasn't sure if he had a penalty. You know, I had a hunch that he might have had a penalty because when he came out of the pits, I think there was 3 cars behind me, but as he popped up behind me, Jeff didn't say the car behind us a 3-second penalty, but there was Farfbar behind me as well at that time, so I didn't know if it was Farfbar or Ryan. So on the last, I was close to him in the laps leading up to the last lap on the Inters, and I just said to the car, I've just got to go for it. I had a nice exit off the last corner and ran out of the poor one, and I just went up the inside and got it done.
Alright, great move by you. I think for me that's the questions for Calzo done. And we'll go on to our second place finisher. We'll get back to you in a moment, Cal, asking you about the next Grand Prix, which is Baku. But Konzo, P2. Let's go back to qualifying. I did practice with you last night, and you said to me you struggled massively with that qualifying pace. Were you happy to put it in P4, or were you disappointed?
P2, you sure I was P2?
Oh, was it? Oh, no, you qualified P4, didn't you?
I was P2, Con was P4.
Well, qualifying, yeah.
Yeah, I talked about qualifying, Con. So I was going to go back to qualifying. No, I'm on about the qualifying result. Are you happy? Were you happy with that qualifying there?
Hold on a moment. Yeah, on both of our screens, Konzo, you were in second place across the line due to Hindle's penalties.
Right, okay. That's strange. Okay, I'll take it.
So yeah, there have been issues in other races with some of the results and penalties and what has counted and what has not. So we'll sort of work that out post race for the final results. But I think we'll do the podium interviews at least with you in second place, because that is what we have on our race results screen.
Okay.
So, Konzo, the question remains the same. Were you happy with that qualifying in P4, especially after speaking to you last night and you seemingly struggling with that qualifying pace?
Yeah, I would say part of the reason why I was struggling as well was didn't have the right setup, one, but number two, I was too worried about cutting corners on my quali lap. So you could say that held me back a bit, but I just went with the mentality, right, I'm just going to go for it. What happens, but thankfully I didn't actually cut one on the lap as well, which made it quite good, so I was actually quite pleased with it, to be honest. Only the 10th for me. Half behind, I think it was.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad at all. But onto the race then. You had a good start, got past Valdemar straight away into turn 1, good move, and after that you seemed to really put pressure on your teammate. I mean, we've seen it in previous events where Calzo just seemed the quicker driver also in the race, but it wasn't the case with it today. So why was that?
Well, we did the same thing in qualifying. We went for 2 flying laps in the Ultra Softs, and it's a known thing that obviously I've got slightly better tyre because I'm on a wheel compared to Callum. So that could have been the case while I was a bit faster. or else just stuck to my dry setup, which was a bit risky, as you've seen at the end maybe.
Then my last question to you is, now I'll hand over to Curly after that. Your pit stop, we really expected you, because you pitted at the same time as Hindle did. We expected you to go on the softs. Why did you? Sorry, super softs. Why did you choose to go on the softs, especially knowing it would rain at the end?
I thought the softs would have cope better in the wet. Sometimes when you've got the lower kind of dry tyre, it copes better with the lower temperatures. So I went with that logic, and it seemed to be pretty right, to be honest. But it wasn't enough of a lapse for Ryan to stay out, because he pitted quite early for the intermediates, and I should have probably followed him in.
Yeah, we talked about all of that as well into the race, but I'll hand over to Curly. Curly, any questions for our provisional second place sitter?
Yeah, Konzo, I want to talk about the second pit stop to the intermediates. You went longer than both other front runners. It kind of, yeah, that ended up being a mistake. I mean, what was the thinking behind running that extra lap or two?
Well, if I pitted on the same lap as Callum, I would have lost probably the same amount of time stuck behind Callum in the pit box. So that's why I carried on for another lap. And because we're in the same team, which probably doesn't help in that situation, but yeah, at that point I had to carry on. I lost my chance when Ryan came in. That actually probably was a pretty good time to come in. But although Callum didn't lose too much time on Ryan when he pitted for intermediates, so maybe I could have queued, but I might have been behind Valdemar if I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was looking quite close if you were going to do that. I mean, Valdemar's about 5.5 seconds behind, but you know, you never know with getting held in the pits. It can be quite a long time. My other question would be in regards to the championship. You've got a fairly commanding lead, but you have dropped 7 points to your teammate here today. You'll still be, I think, around about sort of 50-55 points thereabouts ahead of him. I mean, what are your thoughts going on forward towards Baku? Do you think you'll be able to extend the championship lead there?
Baku is a pretty difficult track, to be honest. It's kind of like this track, but a lot more corners. Never kind of like circuit with loads of barriers around it, so. But it's pretty good for overtaking around there, with the big straights. But I like my chances there. I felt quite good at there. So far I've done a green mode, so yeah. We'll see what happens, I suppose.
Alright, well congratulations on P2, possibly P3, depending on what happens with these penalties and the results, because who knows with these results. Sometimes you get nothing added, sometimes it adds 5 seconds, sometimes it adds 10. Who even knows with the stop goes, so we'll sort of work that out later on. But we will head to Hindle. The first thing I'm going to ask you, Hindle, is how many time penalties did you actually end up having?
3.
3, okay, so yeah, we might have some results sort of shenanigans going on there, but yeah, I mean, I'll ask you about your qualifying lap pole position. I believe that's your first pole of the season. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, obviously pole. Can't get better, but I was disappointed in the time. Good banker lap considering it just gone to dry. 2.5 temps, so, and I validated my time, so I was sat there just thinking, well, I'm gonna drop like a stone now. But well, I was quite surprised at the times of the other guys, to be honest.
Yeah, and then the start of the race, I mean, you had a good launch off of the line, maintained first position, and then just settled into that first stint, and you know, kept that gap at roughly 1.5 seconds. You looked a little bit quicker than the Ferraris behind you. I mean, were you expecting perhaps a slightly tighter fight in that first stint, or were you always confident that you had the pace around here?
Well, I knew I had pace from practice sessions, but that whole first stint, I struggled a lot with oversteer, especially the left-hander just after the first sector. I nearly lost the car 2 or 3 times. Lost it, half a second to a second each time I did it. But yeah, I was comfortable enough. Did expect a bit more of a fight. Yeah, considering the pace of Colin Con this season. Yeah, I was quite surprised that they weren't closer than they were.
And then just thinking about the strategy, I mean, you went for those super soft tires, Calzo getting the undercut on you, but then you able to get back past. I mean, what was that phase of the race like?
Well, I was again completely shocked by Colin Con's decision, especially everyone knowing it was going to rain in the end. Cal not so much, but Con, especially being quite a experienced driver in FRR and Formula One, I'd have I expected him to do even ultras, maybe ultra supers, because surely you want to go for the quicker strategy, knowing you've got to pit again. But when I seen Cal come out on me in front of the softs, his car was, well, on my screen, he was moving around a bit everywhere, so it was quite difficult. But yeah, I managed to get past him, and then once I did, dropped it into lean, standard, looked after the tyres because I knew I had to make it for another stop.
Alright, and I'll let Dom take over, and he can ask you about those final moments of the race.
Yes, that was actually just what I was about to ask Kendall. I mean, a great battle with your friend Cal towards the end of the race. Were you happy with that? Well, you're not going to be happy with that move, but did you think it was hard but fair racing, or do you think it was over the limit?
It's, honestly, I mean, quite honest here, I really didn't expect him to go for it, we were on intermediate tyres. It was actually heavy rain. It was no wet tyre. It was for wet tyres, but actually no one from the pit. And considering how deep we actually went, if I'd have tried defending that, it'd have took me out. So I think he actually got off the track. Only a little bit though. And then I think coming the corner just before the first sector, I went for a little late look, and he moved whilst braking. So again, maybe that's due to lack of experience in that, but I'm sure he'll learn from things like that. He's a great driver, great pace. So yeah, it was a good battle in the end. As I said, I'm not here for much longer, so having a bit of fun with the last few races.
Alright, and then onto Baku then. Is that a race that you'll actually still be racing with us, or will you have left by then?
Yeah. I've got Baku. I believe it's Austria after Baku, maybe.
Yeah, Austria.
I think I'm definitely here for 3 more races. I think that's it. So I'll have Baku, Austria, and whatever the next track is.
You're confident you can maybe bag a win in Baku? Because I mean, the pole position was there today, probably the pace for the win. But yeah, I mean, sometimes things don't play out the way you want them to. Do you think you can win around Baku? Because I'm sure you had a good chance last season, and then the tyres decided otherwise. Do you think you can actually bag a win there?
Yeah, definitely. I think I said it. The last race that I knew I had the pace coming into Canada, which I did. And again, Baku, another strong track for me. So yeah, I'll be looking for another pole and potentially win.
All right, then back onto Calzo, probably to finish things off with the questions. Cal, Baku is I think the first track you actually raced at with FRR, I think last season in the reserves and then in the as a full-time drive. Baku, what do you think? Baku is it a strong track of yours? I think you finished in the points last season, but you did have some difficulty in the reserve race. Do you think you can maybe claw some more points back off Conzo?
Well, I know what difficulties you're referring to in the reserve race. Yes, I did bin it and pretty much not a corner on the last lap. But yeah,
yes.
I don't like I've not liked Monaco. I've not really liked Canada. I'm not gonna like Baku because I despise Baku this season. The curbs are so high and annoying, and I don't like it.
All right, Curly, have you got anything to finish off on?
No, I'm pretty much done. I think for this evening. I think we've got some good answers at these guys.
Yeah, we got some good answers in. So that concludes the World Series broadcast, the interviews. Obviously, after some technical difficulties, we decided to do the interviews on a separate broadcast, which we are doing now. But that was it. And next week on the Thursday, we'll be back with the World Series reserves around the fantastic circuit of Baku, a tricky circuit where the reserve drivers, I'm sure, will put on a great show yet again. Next Thursday, that is. The broadcasts for that are unknown. We'll try and work that out. And then for the Wednesday following that, we'll have the World Championship broadcast from the same track of Baku, where the likes of me and Curly will battle it out yet again with our new broadcaster Ian, probably with Calzo or someone else alongside him. And then for the Thursday following that, so that's in 2 weeks' time, we'll have the same drivers as you saw today, the World Series guys, around the same track of Baku with me, Curly, and hopefully James will be back as a pit lane reporter. So I think that remains it. Have you liked the racing you saw today? Do you want to be a part of it? Drop us a message on Facebook. We are Front Row Racing. Drop a message and one of the admins will get into contact with you, and we'll probably get you onto the grid for the first reserve race, because the reserve race are the way to enter into the main league events. So I think that concludes it. We have enjoyed tonight's race with a great climax towards the end. So we thank you all and have a very good night.